All right, let's finish this. We are doing the shopping center model for Liberty and Bellevue, which is a shopping center that has the following characteristics that we've been working through. We have finished the unlevered cash flow. Now we are doing the levered cash flow, and that is going to be done. I'm actually going to just one thing for this. Make it show up there too, just so people can see it again. So the levered cash flows. All right. So let's just add some headers to this. Unlevered cash flows. We are going to add in levered cash flows now, and I'm going to add a few blanks that we will need to fill out. So levered cash flows, that's going to be there. So the levered cash flows are going to be, let's read our notes. Construction loan issuance, construction loan draw costs, construction loan draw interest, construction loan interest, and then construction loan paydown, and then construction loan origination fee. These are going to be our construction loan cash flows. Total construction loan cash flows. Parcel 1. And we're going to repeat that. With parcel 2, it's going to be the same logic, but okay, same logic. And then refi. So I'm just going to take this mostly for the formatting. Parcel 1. Refi loan. I think actually doing parcel 1 refi under parcel 1 construction is going to be easier to read because you want to see that the loans next to each other. This is parcel 1. I'm sure. So refi. So this will be refi loan issuance, refi loan origination fee. Actually, the issuance is going to be the draw, so I don't need that issuance. So refi loan interest and refi loan paydown. Bring those here. Delete these other rows. So that's good. And then total levered cash flow. Is going to be parcel 1. Parcel 2, and then total, and then the returns. These errors I'll fix, but for now I'm just going to wrap them in an if error by hitting Control-Shift-E with Mechanicus. I'll do it to these two. So I still want to stare at errors that I know aren't problems. So backup for cash flows. So NOI for exit value. I'm just going to do unlevered backup. Now I'm going to do it a little backwards. Okay. Because I just want it to be close here. I can move it around later, but it doesn't really matter. So parcel 1 construction loan. Let's just start with the parcel 1 construction loan, and then we'll do the parcel 1 refi. And then parcel 2 will just be the same logic but repeated. So the backup for cash flow. So I've been bringing, you've seen this file. So this is the 5-year Treasury yield. So I'm going to take this. So just so you know, you go to chathamdirect.com you have to make an account. And then once you've made the account, you log in, you go to rate/market rates. You can find US Treasury yields here. You can also find SOFR right here. You usually pull SOFR for a lot of reasons. But this one doesn't have SOFR in it. So you go to US Treasury, pull that 5-year, you click download here in the top right, and you get it. They might change their websites in the future, but I'm going to take this Chatham, throw it in there. Break links. Never want to have external links in a workbook. And that's that. I'm going to add EO month to each of these because lookups don't work if it's some random date. So always add an EO month. And then, yeah, so back up cash flow. So 5-year Treasury. Oh, the purchase timing, I wrote the wrong date, 25. That time of year again when I just keep forgetting what year it is. So yeah, this is a future deal, so it should be 25, not 24, like I had it. So I'm just going to look up this date and then look it up there and then give me the 5-year. This is actually not going to do anything because he kind of mentioned that he wants to override it. But I figured I'd help out and just pull it in. And then, yeah, just cool. Because the projections don't go until 2036, so we just assume it's flat. So it ends in 2034. So these 2036 ones, this says if not found, pull the one to the left. So that's what that formula is doing. All right. 24 months IO. Separate construction debt for both sides. Yeah. So the construction debt is going to need controls. I'm going to close out of this because we already pulled out what we needed. So construction debt. I'm going to just, this rent rolls like a lot, leasing assumptions. I'm going to add financing a little bit higher up than I normally would. I don't want to put it off to the right because that would probably make this too wide. I think financing assumptions should go there. So it's a bit of a toss-up in terms of how we should do it, but let's just build it out and we can worry about how pretty it is later. So IO period. So parcel 1, parcel 2 total. Let's just stick with that theme. Construction debt. So then we've got begin. So the IO period should begin. Interest only is what IO is, so you don't have, well, I don't even need to model an IO period. I just need an interest rate. Because you don't really have amortization on construction debt because it's usually like a floater. 5-year Treasury. 5-year Treasury curve from Chatham Direct. Did you want to override it with a fixed. So spread to Treasury. So Treasury rate at entry. So what I'm trying to say is you have this construction debt. This is more of an informative. A little unclear from the client if they want what they're looking for in terms of the spread and stuff, but it's okay. I'm just going to do it the way that I'm used to it. So then LTV, 60%. I don't even care about totals right now. I just want individual controls. So then LTV 60%, that's all right. So I've got the LTV. Total costs to finance. So total cost to finance, including interest. So this is where we're going to start getting fancy. So let's just go ahead, pull that one up on the left. So we've got it here. So we need to figure out how much we need to finance. So unlevered cash flow to finance. I'm going to just, on my other screen, just pull up a reference model that I have. Who did I do this for? Yeah, this guy. Sorry, I'm just looking at example model. And so what I do is I take the, yeah, okay. So plus origination fee plus interest, I think. No. So back out items. Now, this will make sense in a second. I'm setting it up. All right. We'll fill this all out in a second. I'm just doing it. All right. Something just fell in my house. I hope I'm not getting robbed. Loan draw. Basis. I'm going to call it basis. This all gets, it's a little complex, but we'll get there. We'll get there. And then loan pay down. And so you start with 0 on the loan. I'm going to use my favorite fill pattern on on the construction loan, you start with nothing. With most construction loans, you need to do the equity first. So that means that you're going to have to calculate your equity here. So, yeah, that would be like, so this is that, and then that is that, and then total cost of finance is going to be you don't have to finance the entrance. So yeah, okay. Origination fee. Back out irrelevant items. The irrelevant items are going to be your. This will come together. Just 1 second. It's going to be your exit net exit value. So it's going to be that. So I've got my unlevered cash flow for just parcel 1. So I'm glad I did that earlier. Origination fee. This is not unlevered, but it will be included. This is nothing right now, but it will be something. So we'll make it yellow, orange to. We'll make it orange to see. That right now it's nothing, but we know it'll need to be something. And then so this negatives only is not actually a sum. It's just going to be equals min sum of that or 0. So I don't want any of the positive cash flows. I just want the negatives in this one. Because once this thing starts making money, it's like we're solid. And then the surplus CF available is just going to be anything that is positive that we get. Right, got it. This is a little advanced for what we need, but I'm going to go ahead and drop these in. I'll do the totals in a second. Got that. And so then let's drop these in. Same deal. I actually want that one to be some ifs like that. Got it. So that total cost of finance is that, but then our interest reserve has got to be another one. Almost just building the sources and uses. I might just do this. So yeah. You make some money. 644. So why am I? Is it because I started making money? Yeah. I shouldn't be making money until. That's what I did. That's what I did. Yep. Okay, so that plus 1. So that plus 3. This begin month should be when the TI allowance hits. And then that is going to be that plus 4. Yeah, so that's what was happening. So project 1 doesn't finish until February of 2026, which is month 13. This shouldn't be happening. All right. So yeah, so I'm not getting that's what was happening. Recycled cash flow was happening. So where's my NOI though? So I shouldn't be getting money until month 18 is the first month that I actually make any money, and it ramps up after that. Yeah, so that was the issue. And then this 26. Okay, cool. So then this 377, I'm going to actually bust this out. So it's total cost of finance, X interest. So this is check. I'm going to build a check off to the side. I'll bring this down. Parcel. So parcel 1 financing cost. Negative UCF. So that's that. What is that? Interest reserve will be something else. I don't think I even need total uses. Sure. Interest reserve will be calculated in just a moment. So this is good. I'm just making sure that I'm footing out. So you've got all this stuff that you want to finance, which is basically the negatives, which is 377, which foots to this 377. It wasn't footing before because my NOI was off, and that's what I was checking for. And sometimes you do have NOI that can finance construction if it's like an apartment building and there's just some punch out items at the end. We call that recycled cash flow. And this kind of schedule is actually dynamic to handle that. But cool. So interest reserve in the control sheet will need to be updated. But then that's just going to be that. Honestly, I already have it. I already have all this. So boom, 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 boom. Total uses. LTV. Parcel 1 total uses is that. Parcel 2 total uses is that. The interest reserve will be added in a second, but we got to plug with 150 for now. Construction loan. Equity. Equals that times that. Equals that. Equals that minus that. So you've got this construction loan and then you've got this equity, and then together they equal the total project cost. Your equity needs to get drawn down first. So we're going to do that. And then equity draws are going to be the minimum of that times -1 or that times -1. And that's because we need to spend our equity first. So we're going to hold on to this equity balance until it's totally spent. And the way this schedule is built we'll just end it with that min logic. So feel free to analyze that min logic on your own time, but that's how that works. And then for the construction loan schedule, it's going to be, for the basis, it's going to be just whatever else needs to get financed minus the equity draws that are happening. The interest we'll do in just a second. And then the pay down is going to be 0. Well, that's going to be 0 and that's going to be 0. But the pay down will be 0 on the first month. But if that equals parcel 2 exit date, parcel 1, sorry, exit date live, then give me the sum of whatever this balance is times -1. Otherwise, give me 0. This is going to be the same thing. This is going to be the same thing. That'll get carried forward. This, I will update the interest in a second, but just so you can see it, loan draw basis. Oh, sorry, I did it backwards on the draw. It's that minus that. Draw. And then we should get to a point where our loan draws on the basis should not exceed. I'm only going to bring these in on these total columns, that the cash flows. The begin and ends are like, if you sum those, you're just kind of summing a lot of balances. So that's that. And I want to just add a check if that makes sense. It doesn't make sense because I don't have 150K of interest yet. So parcel one construction. So let's per cash flow delta versus control. These are just checks. I will bring these into my official checks later, but this just helps me make sure I'm not losing my mind. And so on the construction loan interest percent is going to be equal to that plus the floating spread that we set. Obviously, this is an annual interest rate. So equals that divided by 12 times the beginning balance on your construction loan. And then finally, so that's going to be 1.5. But then the most important thing is going to be for our loan interest, it's going to be the maximum of the minimum of the interest, or the interest minus the surplus cash flow you have available for the interest, or 0. And if that makes no sense, let's just look at it for a second. So you've got no cash flow. You're not built. Your building's still being built, but you have this interest. So you need to draw on your loan to cover that interest. But then eventually we will pay down this loan. We're going to add a mechanism, but let's pretend we hold on to this loan forever. You do have surplus cash flow, at least until you sell the building, at which point you don't have anymore, but the interest goes away because the loan's paid down. But you can see that we're no longer drawing to cover that interest anyway because it goes away. Once we don't need to draw once we have positive cash flow from the building, right? All right, so that's your loan draw and the interest. And that makes this a flexible model, so you can change timing and stuff, and it still works, right? You're not hard coding it. So that is it for that. Right. So that's going to be this, and this is going to make it circular, and that is unavoidable. And so there's that negative UCF. Total uses per cash flow. Access control. That minus that. Yep. So per cash flow. That, but we also need to add 110 to that. Boom. So these checks now work. So for parcel 1, that's yep. So that's parcel 1. Parcel 2, we're gonna want to do the same thing, but let's just here. Total uses matches. Control versus cash flow. Construction loan size matches. Control versus cash flow. I just want to make sure that we're telling the right story. So that's going to be that, and that's going to be that, and that's going to be counts ifs. That. Not 0. You can do count ifs even if you have one thing. I just like it because sometimes you might want to add stuff to it later. And you shouldn't do a sum for a check because sometimes you might have the same numbers in 2 directions and they cancel each other out even though they're both wrong. So that's cool. I keep the check broken so that I know that I need to finish it. So I'm not done though. I need to do so refi debt. I'm gonna finish parcel 1 out because then parcel 2 is really just a continuation of the same logic. I'm gonna rename this. Doesn't need to be 0. Oh yes, origination fee. Probably would have the same percentage for both, but that's okay. So that's, see, I did that. Boom, boom. That is literally just going to be origination fee. And it's going to be 0 in every other month. So do the thing. And then that draw is going to get linked up to there. The interest is going to go to there. It's going to happen no matter what. And then hopefully this makes it make a little bit more sense. So you've got the draws, but eventually you stop drawing as much because you've got negative 11,079 there, but you've got that much in OI. So all in it's 0. So, and then your interest is going to be fully covered by your NOI in this next period, negative 14. So you don't need to draw anymore. So you stop drawing because you don't want to be like drawing on your interest forever. You want to start paying that with cash flow. Still have a good amount of work to do. So the origination fee is going to be there. We have an issue because we need that to be linked in there. That's gonna be there. This isn't. I'm just gonna put NA. Who cares? It's not a project cost, so we need a time. Okay, 2 issues there. I got an issue here. What's my issue here? X interest carry. Yes, X interest carry. Also, X origination fee. So let me just get this up here. Because I just added that in. This check was for unlevered only. Okay, so this one is going to be a little different, but let's keep looking. So this last error in A1 is just a forced error because I haven't finished out parcel 2. So we'll fix that. So we see an error, but it's not a problem because we're not done modeling. This thing, I can delete that because I'm already basically doing that. The refi debt, yeah, that's what I want to do. Well, I want to do construction loan paydown month. That will be, I mean, in my opinion, it should be just whenever you're done with that stupid lease thing. And then this one can just be that month, but this is, do I have another issue with this? So looking at parcel 2 costs, I have parcel 2 project costs, and then I start earning right then. So parcel 2 is not supposed to be that far behind. Why is parcel 2 so much? It's only 8. It's not only 8 because there's that 5-month period. Yeah, that's because these zeros are 0 because of this. So yeah, because this, I was just looking at this parcel 2 schedule. It starts at 14, and it takes 12 months, so 26. Yeah, okay, we're good. Month 26. This one has to be month 24 because you have a delay at the start where you're not earning enough money, and you don't want to do a refi until you're earning the right amount. So refi debt is going to be the next thing that we want to model. So I've got the construction debt. I'm not done, but I'm started on it. Perm note on 25-year amortization at 6.5 fixed for 5 years, balloon at 5. So I'm going to add you had mentioned a 5-year balloon on the refi debt, but a 10-year hold period. Right now, I just modeled that the refi debt continues to exist through the basic date. So I'm going to get rid of that balloon comment. Balloon means you pay it off, but then, if we're selling this in year 10, you usually pay your refi debt off at the time of sale in a model, or you create a second refi that replaces the first refi. But this is supposed to be a basic model. So it's like, so refi. We're going to need to toggle off the land sale and confirm the debt that I built also goes away. So so pay down month, date. The refi debt is going to then be you usually will just issue it the same month as your construction loan pay down because it's the thing that you pay it down with is the refi debt. We're going to want to pull our NOI at the refi date, so it's actually going to be this same formula. And then 59 and 60. And then I'm just going to use the same exit cap rate for the refi valuation. Refi goes to that over that. And then refi LTV, 80%. This is just based on proceeds from LTV. And then your debt service, so refi interest rate is going to be fixed. I'm just organizing this. Refi sizing via DSCR. The debt service coverage ratio is just a way to measure debt. DSCR constraint 1.25x. So DSCR is like debt service coverage ratio. So your total cost of debt over your NOI. And so that's going to be the payment though. NTM NOI. You know what? I'm going to take the DSCR out of this. I'm just going to do LTV. Screw it. That 25 that over 12 25 times 12 present value is going to be that That's going to be that times 12. That checks out. This is so much work. All right. Parcel 1. So the interest draws are done. The origination fee stuff is done. Now we need the refi loan. So this is going to be similar story. So this is going to be begin, issuance, pay down, end. That's really all you do. I'll just call that relevant cash flows. This will be, I'm just going to take this for the style. I'm going to rename them back to what I was. So begin, issuance, pay down, end. So issuance is going to be if that equals that, then that L0. I'm going to base sizing, proceeds are here. So then you get the issuance here in month 24, so it happens in this year. And then your pay down is going to be if it's equal to your, so the construction loan should pay down on the refi date, but right now it's paying down on the exit date, which is not right. Should pay down on the refi, on the loan pay down date. So control D14 should become actually D55. Because what we want to see is the refi taking out that construction loan, and that is what's happening now. So that's cool. But then the loan draw for interest should take that out. And then the refi should actually go. So this doesn't make any sense. Okay, that was just a refresh issue, I guess. Okay. I'm gonna save up. I haven't saved up. $1640. Okay, so the refi happens then. Okay, so now I'm actually going to take my cash flow and go to the top of it on this model. So I've got my construction loan interest and my construction loan pay down. We'll look at the annual cash flows to make sure this all makes sense. So refi loan issuance is going to be, yes, amortization. If that is less than or equal to, so if that is greater than the min of that, or now we have to calculate the amortization, which is what I'm doing. This is a total payment. Again, this is not really a tutorial on what amortization is. I'm assuming you know what that is. There's plenty of great YouTube tutorials. If not, interest only. So then amortization. So equals. So your interest is going to be equals that divided by 12 times whatever the loan balance is in that period. Yeah. And then the amortization will just be the difference between those two, and it should never be Yep, and so you're amortizing then is that. Blah, blah, blah. And that's just going to be the sum of net 23. I need to include the amortization in that. And that goes away. Cool. My refi ends at a zero balance, which is what you want to see. You want to always make sure that your debt ends at a zero balance. So that's your issuance. Your origination fee will be equal to your issuance times that times -1. It should get the same answer. Your interest is going to be that, but times -1. And your amortization is going to be that. And your pay down is going to be that. And then issuance plus amortization plus pay down should always equal 0. Parcel 1 refi paid off. I don't really need to do this. I'm just showing you that because I already have the visual check that this ends at 0. It's good to build these checks in. I'm just trying to get this thing out in the next hour or so, I'd say. Let's just check. Where am I at? Yep. Okay, so we've got that. So let's just take a look at our annual cash flows. Looks good. Looks good. And before we draw this out, I want to actually just see what happens. I don't want to see any levered cash flows basically if I'm just doing the land sale thing. All right, so let's turn the construction loan back on. The stabilized stuff back on. And that looks good. The payment is always 252, which is that, and then so that's refi 1, and then refi 2 will just be a repeat of the logic for refi 1 again. So we'll have to look at these formulas pretty closely because it's easy to mess up and keep something linking to parcel 2 that needs to link to parcel 1. So a whole period on the recap. So yeah, so that is gonna be there. The origination fee is going to be, I really should have locked these cells in if I was thinking. There. And my irrelevant items is just the exit value. It doesn't really matter for this model because I don't think we're going to have an exit during construction. But some models you do, and so I'm just going ahead and doing it. And then surplus, okay. So that's that. Boom, boom, boom. I got my check that I'll have, so that's my check. Negative UCF is that. Times -1. Interest reserve, so EV112. So this is going to be refi to consumer. So this is all good. Now this one is going to be controlled D50. It should be E. So anything that says D should be E. So you can see the equity for this one will be here. So that's 1547. Equity draws is going to be that. Yep. So that all should work. The construction loan schedule, that minus that. Sure. You're not going to draw on it. You're sitting on equity that you still need to spend until you start this construction process. And then at this point, you'll finally spend enough that your equity requirement's done. And then the bank will start issuing construction loan draws. Yep. So, yep. The interest is going to be plus E44 in case for some reason that rate becomes different. All right, that's weird. Why is that weird? No, so that should be E55. And we're going to look at this on an annual basis and we'll have our checks in. But 148 is what I want for that one. EV112. So yeah, 112 is this guy. So yeah, it's just 148 for here. And then same deal in the check. Per control. D130. Minus. Because I'm not, it's because I'm missing though. E52. This one doesn't have like a ramp up period because you just go straight to being leased. construction loan. I'm just going to assume you have the first construction loan start later. It's okay. What the hell? So I'm off by something. Mm-hmm. So here, all I'm trying to say is that I have this 3693 of that, yeah. And then control, why does control say it should be 3693 is my negative unlevered cash flow. Mm-hmm. Let me put this here. Get some space. So I'm just stripping myself out. So 3693,579. Those are the only things outside of the interest reserve. So 3693, 3716. So I'm something's off. D41, D68. Yeah. So my negative unlevered cash flow is 3671. So I'm not tying out. So I'm earning NOI on the same time as that. Yeah, okay. Got it. Yeah, it was the NOI again. Oh, sorry, I don't know why the gamer experience is. Okay, so that's that. So I've got the construction loan is done in the backup, but I need to bring it into the cash flows. So the basis. So yeah, let's just go in. You could argue that the origination fee might get paid closer to when you actually start drawing on the construction loan, but I'm just going to do it up front. Whatever. Refi loan issuance. So yeah, so then the refi loan. So let's go back to. So anything that says I should say J. So that's that. Amortization is that. Pay downs D14. So E14 because that's parcel 2 that we're talking about. We're talking about parcel 2, so it should be E14, and then this I should be J. This I should be J. I should be J because I is parcel 1, J is parcel 2. Amortization. Great. So let's go to cash flow. Refi loan issuance. Origination fee should just be interest is going to be amortization is going to be that. Pay down will be that. Just making sure that parcel 2 refi is paid off. All right, and that should conclude our cash flows. So parcel 1 is going to be parcel 1 unlevered. So I'm calculating the levered cash flow for parcel 1. It's just the sum of these things. And then the levered cash flow for parcel 2 is just going to be the sum of the parcel 2 things. And then that'll be a sum of that. Cool. My IRRs are going to be there. Just going to put entry date here. I'll put it here. And then sources. Cool. People like to see percentages here. Parcel, so I'm just going to drag this out. It's all good. Parcel 1. Total, I'm just going to say total. Construction debt. You always want to make sure that your negative cash flows actually match your equity. Parcel 1 equity check. Parcel 2 equity check. I'll add that in a second. And total uses and sources should be added. I'm just adding grand totals now. Almost done, almost done, almost done. All right. Construction loan for parcel 2 is going to be there. Equity is going to be there. And then I'm just going to do sum if. $85. Really? What's that? Now something's broken because my refi loan is not issuing. My refi loan is issuing on the wrong date, so that's I clearly messed that one up. Refi loan issuance date J. J. I only. So there you go. Still doing something wrong. So issuance. Let's just take a look. This is why we check our models, because I would not have caught that if I didn't have a check. But the rounding is okay to do to like 2 decimals if the check's not passing, since you're okay with losing 2 decimals. Now, if you're doing dollars and millions, maybe do 8 decimals. But this is just straight dollars, so. All right. And then always make sure that your sources equals uses, worth the check. It would go ahead and preemptively throw around on that one because it might not tie out. So that's great. Okay, and now the last thing I want to do is add my levered returns. Which is going to be just as easy as doing index, match. Sorry, match that to that, and then match that to that. Perfect. Okay. Now let's take a look at the annuals to make sure it doesn't look stupid. I'm just gonna zoom out. Sorry if it's hard to read the zoomed out thing. So we spend all the money that we say we would, 3,777,657 here, which is all of the unlevered costs without the levered financing costs. And then 3,694 here is what I expect to see. So these all look correct to me. The NOIs are roughly the same size as, well, I guess I don't. You never want to see these little hashtag markers when you zoom out. You just want to make sure everything's visible to the reader. So that's, I can kill that note to self. I can kill all these extra rows because I'm basically done. But all I'm saying is the NOIs look to be the correct size. So this is Jan of 35. And so, yeah, like 3344. That's going to be month 120-ish. So the one that hits month 120-ish is 344. So 334, you got it. Yeah, so it's going to be a blend of the two of those. And because this one goes until month 120 and this one has everything up through month 120. So that looks good. Suffice to say, these NOIs look good. The sizing for my exit value, same, kind of looks good. Scoot this over. Nah, it's fine there. Whatever. It's not the prettiest output sheet, but it's better than nothing. And then you got the NOI, and that's the net exit value. But then, so that looks good. I'm going to turn off the stabilize once I'm done reading this. This unlevered cash flow matches, and then I've got to check with my construction loan that it matches. So I've got the origination fee. The draws are what I say they should be, which is 2345, and then I pay it all down. I've got some interest, and then then the refi comes through. Yep, and replaces it. I'm just checking my cash flow. So yeah, everything checks out. Cash flows look good. Okay, beautiful. And then that's nice. And so the IRR is okay. For development, it's pretty low, but there's probably some assumptions that he's going to want to tweak. Like I got in here. So let's turn it off. Just make sure nothing looks weird. No levered cash flows. It should be the exact same if I turn it off. And it is. And then, okay, cool. Yep. I don't want that. Stop. What are the issues? Okay, round. This is a round error. And I'm just going to throw around net. And when I email him, I'm just going to de-anonymize the model because I anonymized it for you guys. Talk about the cap rate, talk about the Treasury curve I pulled, talk about the balloon, and then sizing the refi. Currently sizing the refi off an LTV of 80%. FYI, I didn't do the debt service coverage because it's like annoying. Well, thank you guys for watching. This is draft one. If I get meaningful feedback from the client, there might be a follow-up. But if not, I mean, that's how you underwrite a deal. Step one from, the kind of information that we had at the beginning of this, which was pretty limited, which I should pull that back in. Okay, it's not in this file, but I'll bring it back in so that it's in the materials for this lesson. So thank you.